the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we're here at Daytona as the OP Racing Grand National Series brings you another exciting Wednesday night. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is KR Stolfus, and tonight begins the Bracket Challenge, and that is going to be a talking point for the next 5 weeks. A lot going on there. Tonight is sponsored by ExtraLife and Peter deBorja. Peter, you there yet?
Yeah, I'm here, bud. What's up?
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm in here. We're in a booth with you, so you know, it could be better, I guess.
It could be worse.
Maybe. It's debatable.
All right. Well, tonight is the bracket challenge presented by, or the ExtraLife bracket challenge presented by Peter deBorja. Tell us a little bit about your ExtraLife and what you got going on there.
All right. Well, I guess if we go back to the very beginning, Genesis one, no, not that far. Actual NASCAR did something similar this season with the in-season tournament, and Zach Fritsch watches a lot of NASCAR and doesn't vet a whole lot of ideas and just jams whatever he sees and thinks that's going to work out great. So he made it for Wednesday. I was kidding. This is a pretty cool idea. He made one similar for Wednesday nights. The first 3 races of the season helped determine the points and the seeding that would be used for the bracket. And as you'll be able to see here, once KR finds the button to click, you can see that we have put 32 drivers into a bracket based on their current overall point standings. And we'll talk about a bunch of the matchups as the night goes on and keep an eye on those. They will not be based on stage points or laps led or any kind of bonuses. It'll just be finishing positions. We won't have any ties or any kind of weird stuff we have to worry about. Guys are still joining the session here at the moment, but had a couple different adjustments to the bracket based on drivers who knew they weren't going to be here certain weeks, and we didn't want to have people get buys and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to roll with, though. We needed to have a deadline and a cutoff for any kind of bracket adjustments. So find your favorite driver up there and see who he's racing against tonight. That number next to their name is the seeding based on where they are in points at the moment. It is not their car number, so it doesn't match up perfectly. Some of the numbers don't seem to make sense, but I will say the one that makes the most sense is over there in the middle of the right side. Christopher Jordan with a 23. Just Jordan next to a 23 is just the chef's kiss. So as soon as we got that, I just put a fork in it right there. I said no more adjustments because I don't want anything to change that. But some real interesting ones there. You got a lot of new names in Wednesdays this season, and they're making themselves seen in the bracket here for sure. A lot of guys who don't have that many starts, some familiar faces getting paired against each other in the first round and a bunch of spots too. But it's really cool to see a different spin on things. I'm interested to see how it affects the racing. A lot of these guys have teammates. They're going to be looking out for one another, but also, you're going to be keeping an eye on that guy you're supposed to be racing against. And I think that's just going to add an interesting little twist to it, things at the end. And maybe it'll make guys stay out or gamble on fuel or try and, worry about track position at certain times. They others would try and play it safe, you know. But this is all going on in the middle of the season, so guys are still trying to get points too. They're still worried about their point standings and making sure they make the playoffs later. So it'll be fun.
All right, with that being said, we're going to step away real quick, play our national anthem, and we'll be back with our starting lineup. Talking about
we take you down onto the track
talking
for our opening
overtime.
ceremonies.
Ladies
yeah,
and
that's gonna be
gentlemen,
crazy, right?
please rise. Please remove your hats.
I'll just run through the order real quick. We'll be
Yeah, it's fine.
crunched for time.
Just do the top 10 and then just put the other ones on the screen, like real NASCAR does sometimes. I'm just double checking to make sure everybody's here. So if anyone does get a walkover, we already know it.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof.
Oh, crap.
to the
Gary's from Canada.
that
Could have played the Canada USA.
Kevin Freeze is not here.
So
Derek Donna's gonna make round 2.
Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as our drivers are starting to roll out for tonight's event. Let's go ahead and get right into our starting lineup for this one. Mark Mann, Anthony English make up row 1. Row 2, Adam Kilday and Eric Laurie. Vicente Guerrero, Zach Fritsch for row 3. Row number 4 going to be Doug Johnson and Sean McCara. Row 5, Jimmy Reynolds and Dustin Logston. Row 6, Everett Lane and Richard Kuhn. Dwayne Corbett and Robert DuPont for row 7. Row 8, Gabe Butler, Jeff Crosby Sr. Row 9, Derek Donna, Harold Rothery, Dave Hunt, and Les Levy make up row 10. Row 11 will be Casey Gilchrist and Nick Wing, Jerry Bergeron and Andy Brigante from row 12. Row 13, Ron Walters and Nate Warren. Row 14, Shane Posey, Zach Workman. Row 15, Chris Jordan and Andrew Schroeder. Row 16 will be Rick Sanchez and Dana Shepard. Justin Coy and Lynn McNeese make up row 17. And Alex Giffen and Vicente Guerrero make up our final spots here. Vicente Guerrero starting from pit lane.
Interesting choice for sure, but I think the idea with that is he cares about the bracket. He wants to be here at the end and is willing to give up a few stage points here or there for that guarantee. So we'll see how it works out for Vicente as they get ready to take the green flag here. Pace car is off and away, and we are underway in race 1 of the ExtraLife Bracket Challenge.
Mark Mann, Anthony English send themselves off into turn number 1. Side-by-side racing action. We're going to see a lot of that all night long. Peter, as a driver here who competes with OP on Monday, how early will these guys go 3 wide?
Ah, man, I think this might be the night that slows them down, to be honest. The stage is until lap 35 here, so Monday nights it's a little bit different. You end up getting really aggressive right away. You feel like no one's going to let you in on the bottom, so your only way to get to the bottom and be able to control your own pit destiny is to get all the way to the lead. And you can see some guys already are just checking up and letting guys get down there. The fuel numbers are kind of close here. I don't know if it's going to be quite a 2-stopper or not, but the way they're pushing, we'll probably get a yellow, and it'll probably just be a 1-stopper anyway. But love to see what we're seeing already, where the guys at the front are the ones who qualified. They intentionally went down and put a good hot lap. They're pushing each other at the front. The guys who might be chilling towards the back here, look how strung out they are. That is 100% intentional. You had a choice of whether or not you wanted to go put a lap down. Guys like Guerrero decided they didn't even want to restart in the pack, and so he's back there 34th trying to get attached here, and he's hoping for a yellow right away, and maybe it'll shake some sense in these guys. But a lot of those Vendetta Motorsports guys lined up on the bottom, while up top you got some of the FSR guys along with Bootnaka. So we'll see who's going to start making some moves and pushing here. Oh, we got some Doran right there at the front already.
Yeah, we had one. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Doug Johnson gets out of shape on the opening lap and the only car to go down below the yellow line. And
he has just served his meatball, so it looks like he'll be hopping back out here in a second. I mean, if Vicente stays on the lead lap and Doug Johnson only loses 1 lap, then he'll be the lucky dog if we get this yellow here coming up soon. But he's also going to have a brand new car here in a second to be working with. So he is still on pit road. I don't know if he's getting towed or what's going on. He's staying in the session though, so I don't think he plans on retiring the car.
no, it's still pretty early. A lot of racing to go in this one. Fast lap right now goes to Dana Shepard with a 46.74. So Shepard laying down a quick
That's
one.
what you expect to see early on too. It's those guys getting spread out in the back, and that could have been because of the incident involving the 83. Now these guys are pushing really hard to make sure they don't detach, and that's when you're going to be setting the purple lap times, as they say in other motorsports there. So he was pushing real hard, and you can see he got the draft up to Bergeron just there in front of him. I wouldn't be shocked if that car right behind him that you see there is the guy who sets the purple lap this time around. So take a look out for Ron Walters, Chris Jordan, see if they set a fastest lap that even tops Dana's a second ago.
Working lap number 5 of 35 here in stage number 1. Everyone looking calm, cool, and collected for the moment. A night race, lots of grip out there. I think we'll see these guys put together quite a few laps of good, solid racing.
It's a little deceptive out there as far as grip goes. Temperature's pretty low, which is nice. Track depth's low. One thing that'll bite you here at Daytona, and not to say anything disparaging about the session creators, because this is an elected choice and it adds an extra layer here, but it catches people off guard at times. The relative humidity right now is a relatively high 70%. That makes pit roads slightly more slick. What that really does, though, is it makes the car more susceptible to blowing up when the temps get high. You don't have nearly the cool down when you jump out into cold air, because it's just got so much water vapor, I guess, and it doesn't cool the engine down as much. You get that blinking red notification, and you can't really push it like you can in a dry air setting. So hopefully these guys are taking notes on that. It'll make pit entry a little bit more slick as they come up here to lap the, this is the 83, going down another lap. We'll see if he's able to keep it on the wall there and hopefully stay out of the way. I'm sorry, the 388. I'm using his Monday number.
Oh, no.
And we get a little loose there. Macara spins right in front of Workman. Big time contact. Oh, parked on the infield there too, man. That just looked like an Earnhardt Schrader moment, the way he came back at the track in front of the 19, man. That was a big hit. Is he still moving? Is he going to be able to get that one back, or is he down not only a fast repair, but potentially a lap? We'll see. He's trying to climb the banking. That's not working so well.
All right, let's back this up as soon as I roll to the incident.
He is rolling. Looks like he should get the pit entry there just fine. You can see, looks like, I don't know if it was netcode there at the front, but something happened second in line on the outside there. Something with the 12. I don't know what happened. He's behind the 44 and then kind of gets shot back a little bit. I don't know if that was a checkup because he felt like he got the 44 loose and it just caught the 71 sleeping, or if that was definitely some pushing netcode, because
Looked like something happened to the 12.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like
Yeah.
that whole like a shotgun to the radiator thing there, and it just happened right in front of the 71. This is not this. I'm not going to say anything here about the 44. It's certainly not his fault, but there's a few drivers in this league that all happen to live within a couple hundred miles of each other. Somewhere in western Pennsylvania, some in southwestern Pennsylvania, some in northwestern Pennsylvania, some of them just over the line in Ohio once in a while. They seem to have these netcode incidents happen to them far more than others, and I'm just talking about Anthony in this case here. So I'm on blast right here. I'm just saying that we do not support whatever ISP is causing those problems for those guys. It's not fair to them. It's making them look bad. But Josh Ball on Monday is geographically relatively close to that too, and he always ends up in some weird netcode drafting situations, and it's obviously nothing to do with those incredibly skilled drivers. Anthony's a champion in this league, and Josh is a multiple-time Final Four competitor and at the highest level on Monday nights, so those guys know how to wheel, but for some reason their ISP does not like them and gives some pretty mean netcode to those guys at times. But look at this, man. Everybody. No one's even gambling, are they?
No, everyone's coming down pit road. Splash of fuel, maybe.
Except Vicente. I think that was expected. He's taking his lap back here. I think that makes the most sense. He got the dodge the accident. He wasn't attached to the pack. He got the yellow before any real dangerous stuff happened. Oh no, he's taking the lead. He just chose not to pit.
He just chose not to hit pit lane, and now he is our race leader.
That's interesting. I wonder if I'm not in the main comms, but if I were the 388 right now, I would not be super thrilled with that decision from the 14. Be blocking one of the wave rounds that he would be hoping to get here towards the end, but you know, he's turning this race on its head. You know, you're getting the yellow at lap 35. So whatever you do until then, as long as you make sure that on lap 36 you're restarting on the lead lap, then it really doesn't matter what you're doing along the way. So you know, give my applause to Vicente for this. He's looking out for Doug Johnson. That's who he's battling tonight. Doug is 3 laps down. So if Vicente, he's in a position to gamble almost more than anybody else in the field.
Two Fritchies saying shotgun netcode. There you go.
That's what we saw right there to the front, man. It was just right behind the 44, and then boom. It didn't blow him up because you could see him driving all around back to pit road just fine, but had to get the damage fixed, obviously. Hopefully it isn't too terminal there with the meatball, but yeah, it's messed up a lot of guys' races there at the beginning. A couple of them still on pit road here. We keep an eye on it. Fritz is battling Everett Lane in his part of the bracket. Sean McCarra took the biggest hit in that incident, battling Jeff Crosby Sr. So it's going to be some good luck for some of those guys there. Bad luck for some others, but we got a long way to go. Could be a few more big ones that shake this one up a great deal. So yeah, the one down there in the bottom right corner, those guys were running last and second to last for this entire stint for a while there, and now he turned the race on its head. Vicente's all the way at the top, and Doug's down there at the bottom hoping to catch a bunch of lucky dogs between now and the end.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy that those two paired up against each other, and for our first few laps they were running nose to tail as far as timing and scoring was concerned.
Yep. 34th place would have been good enough to advance amongst the pair of them. But that's the thing, though. It's just one race in the calendar. These guys know it's, you know, a long season as far as points and stuff go, but all you're doing is looking out for your opponent. And I know that these guys are thinking about it just by some of the moves and stuff. I don't know if Vicente makes this move and stays out and plays this little fuel gamble and messes around if he doesn't know Doug Johnson's in that situation, because he got the block of Doug Johnson wave around. That's his opponent. He doesn't want Doug Johnson to get any wave rounds. That's his goal. So Vicente may have to pit here soon under green while nobody else does. But then maybe next yellow he stays out to block another wave. Like, that's his goal, is to survive and advance, right? So it's that's a thing that would never happen if we were just doing full-time points, because no one would want to sacrifice their race that way. But it absolutely makes sense for the 14 to try and ensure its position to advance in the next round.
All right, the field is racked and stacked. The lights are out on the pace car. We're going to let them loose. Bring this first yellow to a close. Vicente Guerrero and Anthony English on the front row for this restart. Peter, why don't you call it again?
All right, pace car down there below the yellow. The cars are about to enter here, the Geico restart zone. Geico not paying us, just paying virtual Daytona for that wonderful mention here. Mark Man glued to the back there of the 14, pushing him ahead of the 44, his teammate on the outside. A couple Vendetta guys lined up there. Then after those top 5, they're laying back and playing it super safe here. Doesn't look like they're super comfortable they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way, so I think guys are going to try and get it to the bottom. And it looked like Robert DuPont was thinking about jumping up, but wasn't quite clear yet. As we ride on board with, who's this, Dana Shepard? There we go. Nope, Christopher Jordan, 23rd seed. Too perfect of a spot in the bracket. You get Jordan 23. That's my pick, man. Because he doesn't, that kind of chemistry never loses in the playoffs. Look at the back of that Reynolds wrap. Ford Mustang there up ahead. Leaving a little bit of a gap here. Is that for a teammate to hop down and just playing it safe? I don't know. I think guys might try to short pit here soon. I know that in practice, some of them were getting around 18, 19 laps of tank, which would be pit stops in roughly 6 or 7 laps here, depending on how close you want to cut it. The stage points only matter to the guys who are worried about the points. If you're worried about the bracket, though, you want to make sure you're out of the zoo.
Out of the zoo, huh?
This is a zoo up front, man. This is quite a zoo. Lots of different teams, lots of different guys with different agendas. There's, you know, the zoo does not have 100 of the same animal. That is not the purpose of the zoo. It's to have like 1 or 2 of every different thing. You can see, spot all the differences, right? Look at some of these different guys' different strategies. Some of them are in team rooms right now by themselves. Some of them are in chats with like 8 people and goofing off and having a great time. So a handful of these guys have raced single-digit OP races so far. And this is like their chance to kind of make a real big mark. And other these guys back here, you know, you got some of them who are absolute legends in OP and then who are Hall of Famers, and you got some others who are, hey, they're just happy to be here on Wednesday nights. They joined the league in the last couple of weeks, so everyone's got something different going on. Look, come on, when are you going to see the 88 who's rolling around here in like 20th place or whatever? So right there behind, as you can see the 9. And the 19 and all these guys here who are pushing real hard to move forward, and then other guys just chilling at the back.
Yeah, Butler's not one to hang out at the back, and if he's back there, it's usually not very long.
Well, one thing I think we're going to see here in a second, which is going to be really interesting, we don't really get to see it in OP much anymore, because everyone cares about stage points, but it seemingly does, at least on Mondays. But you're going to see a lot of people run this one dry, which is absolutely not the right strategy if you're interested in points. If you're interested in points, you want to pit as fast as possible, put as little fuel in the tank as possible, just enough that's going to get you to the end of the stage. You get hooked up with your drafting people, you get all the momentum, and then you're comparing lap times to leaders the rest of the way, trying to gain a second or 2 over your stint so that when they pit, you come out a second ahead of them. In the survival mode that we have of this bracket, you want to stay out of the mess. So you might just stay single file, run the tank completely dry, finally pit, come out half a lap behind the leaders, but with some pals, so you know you're not going to get lapped, and you just know that you're going to have 0 incident points and not a scratch in the car come the next restart on 36 or 37. So I think you're going to see a huge delta in the first pit stop lap and the last pit stop lap.
Well, so far, nothing's really changed at the front. We're getting single file. Quite a bit of them are getting single file, and that's usually a sign that they're thinking about pit stops, but it seems a little early to me.
Nah, this is right around where I think it is. If you want to get there, you want to pit as early as possible if you care about stage points. And some guys might take this whole bracket thing and think, it's cute. Seems a little silly. I'd rather have 10 stage points than a bunch of points tonight and lose the bracket and just not even think about it right now. And I think that's what you're seeing with some of these guys in the front. They're intent on getting down to an early spot here in the pack so they can short pit early, have hopefully a great exit, and come out way ahead of the guys who are just kind of relaxing about it and say, hey, if you're going to sleep and worry about the bracket here, I'll just take these stage points, put them in my account, and move on, because this is still happening, right? And shout out Rick Seabrand's not here with us tonight. I know he's got some medical issues, but it's not life-threatening. It's been an operation he's been waiting to get for a long time there, and it's one that you know it's going to be on your arms or shoulders. It makes driving a little bit difficult. So we're wishing him a speedy recovery, and He's obviously a legend of our sport there. Locked in the playoffs to the win. We've still got to make enough starts. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think he's got enough trophies. I mean, I think if he got another trophy for winning this thing, that'd be more of a burden than a privilege. So rest up, Rick. It will be fine. But yeah, Crosby Jr., see guy at the top of the standings, not in our bracket. He's away this week. He is traveling with his wife and family, so wasn't able to make this race. Didn't want to take a bracket spot away from a guy, so we moved the next person up. But yeah, lots of big names in there. But look how close together it is from basically 20th on there all the way up to about 8th or 9th. It's just about 15 points separating a huge chunk of names there. Some of them Monday veterans have been racing for tons of seasons. Other ones who are making their debut or their second Wednesday season here, hoping to get promoted to Mondays. And there we go. Here's the pit stops right what we were talking about real early. Those Vendetta guys right at the front. Can they get these B cars wound down in time? I don't know. A lot of smoke there.
Got one in the wall.
Some guys inside wall. That little cone there, a little bit of a problem too for some guys. Oh man, let's see if they're able to get them slowed down in time. It's going to be close. Oh, we're going to wreck right here, so the guys are going to get bailed out on pit road. Even if you were serving the penalty, you're going to be safe down. Dustin Logston around over there in the exit of 2. Hooked together with Dana Shepard. I don't know if that was another netcode incident again, but his Veterans Day scheme there blended right in with the track. I lost him. Oh, there he is. Got it. Oh, man. Looks okay, though. No smoke coming out the back. Just looks probably a couple minutes of optional damage. He'll come back out here and be just as fast as before, but that's definitely a big break for those guys who just pitted. As you can see, they were 3 wide there. Hard to tell if the 78 was running a little high or the 81 was running a little low, or if we had a bad bump. I blame the cameraman running that at full speed and giving us like 0.2 of a second to make that judgment call. But
you got
it doesn't look like too terminal.
If you want to slow it down and nitpick everything, then you need to not be a driver.
And you know what, guys? While we're looking at this, if this is going too slow, you can always check out the point standings some more on the right side.
Oh yeah, good call.
Oh man, you know what? For all the things that 81 hit right there, not one of them was the wall. Bunch of cars going real fast in the middle of the turn, somehow didn't touch the wall and didn't even touch the grass till he was going like 15 miles an hour. He stayed on the surface. So those tires definitely have nothing left on them. Hopefully he's taking 4 of those. Oh man. So here we go. Now you're back in the pack if you had just pitted, and now you just kind of leapfrog literally everybody. Starting up there with Anthony English, 22nd place, Adam Kilday, Mark Mann, etc. Those guys were not on your point standings list with a win. They are not locked into the playoffs yet, so they care about stage points a great deal. I imagine they're going to stay out and be right at the front. However, there are a couple guys here who might not really care about the stage points and just want to protect their car, even though they pit. So it'll be interesting to see what guys like Everett Lane, Andrew Schroeder, Eric Laurie do, because would they rather come out and fight for some stage points at the back half of the top 10? Or they just want to play it safe some more, and they were just short pitting to try and get their tires and fuel, and now that they'd be still happy rolling in the back. So I'm watching all the names go down pit road. Gabe Butler stays out, it appears. Anthony English stays out. Adam Kilday stays out. Everett Lane, Mark Mann, Jamie Reynolds as expected. Rick Sanchez, Andrew Schroeder, Eric Laurie stay out. Justin Coy, Les Levy. Everybody else pulling down pit road. Some of those guys who were just on pit road before are just like, yeah, I only took 0 tires to get that little bit of fuel. Now I'll take 4 just to feel extra safe. So I'm interested to see. And there's one of the laps. Doug Johnson's now going to be only, 2 down now? Yeah, this will put him 2 laps down to the leader. We know we're getting another caution again in roughly at least, 15 laps when we have the stage break. So he gets another one in there. He's the only car currently scored more than 1 lap down, or sorry, more than or any laps down. So Vicente is obviously going to be keeping tabs on that. All right, let's pull that bracket up again, KR. I want to hear some thoughts.
I'm going to make sure I leave it up there this time.
That's cool. Yeah, you can put it all up, leave it up through the whole stint. I don't think anything exciting is going to happen the rest of the way. Now. All right, let's look at that top left quarter up there from Logston down to Walters. So those 4 first matchups there. If you had to guess, which of those 8 drivers would make the semifinals? Who you like out of that bunch?
It's hard to go against English or Logston, but Gilchrist could be kind of that sleeper guy that just puts together solid races, not too flashy, but just picks them up and lays them down.
All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's a good one. That wasn't the one I was gonna go with. I'm still deciding. I'm not sure if I like Justin Coy or Harold Rothery more, but I think both those guys in particular have shown so much interest and dedication to Wednesdays, and I think all those other guys that we're used to seeing, they've raced so much, so many other places. This is just another thing to them. I saw Justin in the Discord chat earlier today be like, why is anyone dropping out of this bracket? This is so cool and exciting. Just do it. And it's like, well, man, some people have like real life commitments and stuff like that. And his response was basically just like, nothing is as important as this. And I will, when the push comes to shove, yeah, someone in the field might be more talented than him, but I'll always take the guy who thinks it's really, really, really important and serious, because that's the kind of person I am. I'm not the best driver, but when push comes to shove, I think there's something really serious about it. I like his chances there. I think he's going to be glued to looking at what that 85 does. The 85 is going to be probably racing towards a win, maybe throwing a block or two, maybe trying to push a teammate or something, and might just lose sight of where Justin is there at the end. And it's not like he's chilling in the back either. He's, he's right there in 10th right now and keeping an eye on things. He'll get his, if he wants to go get some stage points, he can. But that 86, man, just keep an eye on him.
And Luttrell makes a good point. This is probably one of the toughest brackets because you do have Anthony English, you do have Kilda, you do have Logston. That section right there is probably one of the harder ones to be in.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And look, Shane Posey, he's back in OP. He's been, in the feeders off and on since before I started back in 2021. He's been around a long time. He has an absolute way of being at the end there of every race. You can see he'll be taking things 3 wide, doesn't necessarily have a deep squad of teammates to work with there, but end of every race, there he is. There's the 83. And sometimes that's your only way forward, is to find a friend there that you might not have had before the race started, and then you're shoving them up to the front. So I'm going to keep an eye on that bracket. We'll look at the other ones here as we get some more cautions. Oh, look, it's just some more Vendetta guys leading the restart in the Geico restart zone. Woohoo. Listen to this sound. Hey, wait a second. Here's an interesting piece. See that 0-4 there on the inside who blew the restart clearly and let his teammate down right away? Yeah, there he goes. He now, whether he meant to or not, has helped his opponent in the bracket challenge. That's right. That's and I wanted to make sure I shouted him out because I know he's very popular in YouTube chat. That number 5 up there, Rick Sanchez, racing Mark Mann to see who makes to the second round. Teammates at Vendetta Motorsport here on Wednesday nights, and now the 5 is ahead of the 4.
Yeah, inadvertently helping his opponent there, but a lot of racing to go. Maybe he's playing the long game, letting the 5 think he's out in front, and then all of a sudden Mark Mann's just gonna right in front of you.
Yeah, maybe. Those guys are pals there. They got some Rick not coming back to Mondays this season, I think, may put this in a little bit more of a serious lens than it is for the 04. We'll see. I mean, I think it's just going to be crazy at the end, the amount of crazy blocking and stuff we might see, and some games to be played. But that's a fun matchup to me because both those guys are incredible drivers, running teammates, having to get paired together in the first round. I just think it's one of the quirkiest matchups we got there for sure. And here they are, both in the top 5, pushing their way forward here as best they can. You can see the 17, Jimmy Reynolds, trying to hold on to that thing, man. These guys, I don't know, man, if they remember this or not, but these cars don't push quite as good as the trucks. You got to be a little bit more careful with this, and they really struggle off the corner there. You see the 48 getting a little loose there, bringing it under control. The 31 stepped out of line. Is he going to be able to get back in line? Okay, good, because that would be a long way back to the back there. But they are bouncing around quite a bit more than we saw on Monday night. Getting along here with Eric Laurie behind teammate Gabe Butler just in front. That John Deere Guinness combo an iRacing staple at this point. A lot of big checkups here. I don't know if that's going on from the pushing, if guys are trying to save fuel, or what's going on, but you can see, you watch that, the telemetry there, how much Eric had to slow down just to not run over his teammate. Now a big gap is opened up, and then if a driver clears down or jumps something, he might just get, you know, sucked right back up there. So he's got to be real careful here. These cars, like I said, don't have quite the forgiving back bumpers on them that the trucks do. So you can't hit them as hard. Got to be careful not to turn them, kind of like what we saw earlier with the 388. They were just trying to work together a little bit. And we got some peaks out 3 wide, maybe. Yeah, he jumps back in there behind Schroeder. Andrew Schroeder now leading the top side after we've gotten Adam Kilday to the bottom and Anthony English down there at the bottom as well, with Jimmy Reynolds and Rick Sanchez there, as now the 2 Vendetta drivers jump back out to the outside here in the backstretch. A little bit of side draft action there, goes to the 44. We got a little third lane action here. Maybe some guys that were chilling at the back all of a sudden thought, oh, maybe this is going to go green. I need some stage points after all. The 14 out there, we've already talked about him a bunch tonight. Let's see out there working with the 9 and Dwayne Corbett. They're trying to make their way forward. Is this to get some stage points here? Is they just feel that they want to see what their car has so they know what they can do at the end of the race? That is one of the other things that people don't do, I think, is making a lot of these moves early for data collection, not necessarily for aggression or track position. Just what can I do in the third lane? How long can we push before we get hot? Can we pinch the middle lane enough? How long? We don't know how long it takes the middle lane to get hot if we're not driving in the third lane, side drafting them too. So there's just like so many little things that you would love to have the information about before the end. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, come on, we only race like 3 or 4 tracks. How hard is it? Well, every single time we change the temperatures, the humidity, that sort of thing, all that stuff can affect how long a car can push, how well can a car handle the outside, how fast is the third lane compared to the second, etc. So having a lot of that data early on, hopefully in a safe space where you don't kill a car trying to find it out, really goes a long way and be able to make informed decisions at the end.
Still having some 3 wide action. The 19 is Zach Workman, the 031 of Casey Gilchrist. Those guys working that third lane. Dustin Logston, who went for a spin earlier, he's up in the third lane, and we got another spin.
The wall. Les Levy to 62. Oh my goodness! I'm wondering if that was just a bad bump there or a late block, because the 62 was peeking out to the third. I thought that's where he was going. We'll have to rewind that and take a look here. That's not the end of the stage. That's going to put us up for like a 4-lap sprint for the stage, which might get really interesting later here, but let's run this back here. You can see 62's hanging out in the middle, and he gets right reared there just a little bit and goes right in front of the 06 of Rotherty there. You see the 14 sneaking through, a couple others sneaking through there. It looks like the 031 got a little bit of damage. Ooh, 15 just barely getting by. You see there, Everett Lane to the 24 just clipped in there in the right rear. I don't know if he was trying to get out of the way or if he was already a little bit loose. Just got him a little bit there. Lane is running full-time this season on Wednesdays. He may have been looking for the stage points there going out. Les Levy was a late addition to the bracket. He was moved up to the last second. I don't think he was super concerned about stage points and was content staying in the middle. I don't think he wanted it to end like that, though. So, but these guys are all rolling, making it back to pit road. We're going to see that 388 get one more lucky dog here, which means that he, you know, is pending anyone else going a lap.
With anything. Got to keep that in mind. Even a 0x will disallow you to be waved around, which I think is the dumbest thing.
Yeah, I understand it because NASCAR does the deal of if you were involved in the wreck, you can't get a lucky dog, right? And we can't have race control standing on top of every single race that's run on the service. So then how does one determine if you are involved in the wreck or not? And the incident point system is the best we got. So
it is the best we got.
It's not going to be flawless for sure. But
doesn't mean you got to like it.
No, I agree, but I don't know how you do anything better. I honestly, if they didn't have that rule, and then you had guys start spinning people out to get yellows so they can get lucky dogs, like that would be far worse, you know. So.
Well,
I think
that's the thing though. A
the lesser of two
0x,
evils.
you didn't spin someone out for that 0x.
Well,
You just-
yeah, that's true. But
You just bumped them. Now a 2x or a 4x, I totally would get. Hey, you can't. You know, you've made hard contact or you've spun somebody out. But a 0x, because you're bump drafting at a plate track where you bump draft, will eliminate you from getting the wave around.
yeah, I know we see all that big iRacing logo in the corner there. I want to let you guys know who watch predominantly Super Speedway Racing, whether you're supporting the individual drivers here tonight or you're just tuned in to Turn 3 and OP Racing. We are a fraction of what iRacing has, a small sliver of what iRacing has to offer as far as tracks and cars go. So they need to have a race control system that kind of works for the most amount as possible. Otherwise, you have all these different rule sets and crazy corner cases, and sometimes it just doesn't work out for our super speedway guys. Like that weird netcode thing, probably not happen at a road course that often. But when you put all these cars pushing the crap out of each other at 200 miles an hour, sometimes weird things can happen. So. All right, let's fire up the bracket. Let's look at the lower left this time, KR. There's the one I was talking about, Man Sanchez. That's a big deal. Laurie Schroeder, both Monday guys, big deal there. That is a tough 16th in the bracket there. Like, 3 of those 4 guys are going to be eliminated 8 days from now. Wild. Got Jerry Bergeron and Jimmy Reynolds. Jimmy Reynolds, Hall of Famer, head honcho, running Monday nights. But he's got the 28 next to his name. That's because that's where his seat is in the points. Jerry Bergeron, maybe you haven't heard of that guy. He's been killing it with points. He's got a little 5 right next to his name because of the consistent finishes he's had. I've had a couple great races with Jerry Bergeron where he's pushed me to a win in a Saturday race, and then in a Wednesday race where we had like a photo finish. He is quiet and consistent there, so great result from him so far. And then you got Dwayne Corbett, who we've seen earlier, and Len McNeese, one of former OP Series champion as well. So, wow, you thought the top left was stronger? This is really strong too, man. We got 2 Hall of Famers down here and a bunch of Monday guys and other guys putting some real good results on the board. I mean, the guys with the gigantic numbers next to the name that are the low seats are the ones who are like the most accomplished too. Like what a bunch. Who you like out of this one?
I'll tell you what, I gotta say, I think, can I take a free pass on this one?
You want me to go first? I can go first since you went first last time.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna pick Rick Sanchez. If he can somehow survive the horseshoe that is Mark Mann, who always happens to find himself the right place at the right time on the last lap. If he can get past that tonight, I think he's got it. I think it's just he's near the front. He's got a good group of teammates he runs with. The Wednesdays, he just typically finds his way near the front or winning races a whole bunch. He doesn't have Mondays to worry about anymore. This is the big show for him. I like him to finish it off and get to the semis.
I think that's a good choice. If I had to pick, then it would be Jimmy Reynolds. Just puts together solid runs. If he can stay out of trouble, he tends to finish towards the front.
Yep. And if you're behind the Jimmy Reynolds towards the end of the race, and it's not like, you know, your opponent or something like that you're worried about, like, that's the one guy you love to push. He is super important, obviously, to this league, but he's also just a great guy on the track that, you know, is going to help you in any spot, let you down when he knows you need to pit, push you when you're trying to win a stage, something like that. Like, that's a guy who's made a ton of friends in this league, and there's a real reason why. So I can see how push come to shove at the end of the race, maybe his teammate's not behind him, and he still finds a way to get pushed and get towards the front there anyway. As you can see, here we are, the Vendetta show again. They got the top 3 spots here, the 5 leading the bottom with the 44 and 85 up top. Are they just going to try and play nice in the end of the stage? I doubt it. They're already 3 wide, just a few rows back. As you can see there, the 83 of Shane Posey with Vicente Guerrero and Nate Warren making their way forward. They know that stage points are still getting awarded tonight as well. Oh, and we got some moves. Andrew Schroeder moving up to the 3rd lane in front of Shane Posey. Running a little high to the wall there, so it's going to be tough for them to get the momentum without being able to side draft. It's going to let that 85 cool it off a little bit. 44 peeking up to let the 85 cool off the left side, too, which is a Real nice little trick in this car. Oh, Justin Coy run a little bit high there. Just almost into the door there of Andrew Schroeder. As you can see there now, the big run that top side's getting here down the back. Posey doing all he can to push him forward. Guerrero behind him, but there's a big gap between Guerrero and Corbett. So they really only have 3 cars working together. How much progress can they make before that 83 is blinking red? They got to back off a little bit there. A little bit of a check up. The 48 ran a little bit high, and the 83 wasn't ready for it, it looked like. As they're running down here, we have an advertised 4 laps to go in the stage, but if we get a yellow now, points will be awarded how they enter pit road.
Oh, and we may
bouncing off the wall a little bit.
Yep.
Oh,
we may get that yellow flag yet.
Oh man, Justin Coy and Andrew Schroeder getting together just a little bit there. Is someone going to jump out in front of Schroeder and save that 3rd lane? Coy is thinking about it. It looked like he drifted up just a little bit in lane 2.5 there in the exit of 2. Thinking about going to that 3rd. They don't really have the momentum just yet. Here comes a push from Posey. Schroeder's going to start coming back. Is someone going to jump out in front and let the 48 do the pushing with an ice cold front end? He hasn't been doing any pushing for the last several laps. This is the time.
Well, I don't know what happened to Peter, but he went quiet. We'll see if he gets back in here. Sanchez, though, your race leader, makes their way down the backstretch, working lap 33 of 35 here in this stage. And the yellow flag is going to come out. That will do it for stage 1. Not sure what brought this yellow out. That's a little bit better picture of what brought the yellow flag out. Just a big jumble down the back stretch. But everyone, for the most part, stayed straight. For the most part. So Rick Sanchez in the 5 going to be our stage winner. As far as the bracket challenge is concerned, stage points mean nothing. All about your finishes for a stage, or sorry, for the bracket challenge. Everyone makes their way onto pit road. Looks like Dave Hunt may be staying out. So Dave Hunt in the 53 stayed out. He was the only one to stay out. Reynolds gonna win the race off of pit road. Dave Hunt last on pit lane was lap 27. So I don't know. Do we see him come back down pit lane this time? Peter, did you get it fixed? That doesn't sound like it. I don't know what happened to Peter. He was going along so good too. Let's see. Let's pull up Rick Sanchez. Sanchez, got your ears on, bud? Maybe.
I hear some, but barely.
All right, man. Hey, congratulations on winning the stage real quick, man. Tell me a little bit about that stage 1.
That was all Jimmy. Yeah, he just pushed the hell out of me, so I owe it all to Jimmy Reynolds.
All right, well, congratulations on the stage win. Other than Jimmy, shout outs, thank yous, anything you'd like to add?
Just shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to you for putting on the show, and shout out to the family.
All right, man. What team were you in?
2.
I don't know, 5?
Team 2.
2?
It says, I mean, you run the guys you normally run with, right?
Yeah, with Mark Mann and them.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
team
2.
Gotcha.
Welcome back,
Can't even
Peter.
take notes where you pulled the guy from. Jeez.
I kind of forgot, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I saw something shiny.
Yeah, so did I. So it's my dog jumped on the cable that was plugged into my headset and yanked me away for just a second there. So as we get ready to restart here, just keep an eye on some guys here. A lot of guys topping off, going to the back intentionally, really trying to keep their cars super safe towards the end of this race. We've got about 30 seconds here to talk about what is ExtraLife, what is the ExtraLife Brackets Challenge, etc. What is this company? ExtraLife is a charity for those of us who can't run marathons and do all sorts of real feats of physical strength. Playing video games 24 hours this weekend, starting at Saturday 2 a.m. Until Sunday 2 a.m. The schedule's available at extralife.org/participant/deBorja. A lot of different things this year. I got some retro video games that I have never played that a lot of people have before. I'm going to ask you in a second, KR, if you probably have played this game. But yeah, live on my Twitch channel there, 24-hour stream. I've raised $10,000 over the past few years here for them and hope to do some more this time here as we get the restart underway with some new faces at the front. The 53 of Dave Hunt is your leader.
And man, did Dave Hunt and Gabe Butler get a jump. The 04 Mark Mann, that's the second restart where he just didn't get going.
Oh, we got a yellow already. Big time wreck right there on the front stretch. What's going on here? I don't know if someone missed a shift or whatnot, but a lot of big names there turned around the other way. You are right there, KR. There's a lot of blinking on your screen here too. Oh, we got still got people turning.
Yeah, I don't know what that's it's becoming a thing all of a sudden.
Interesting. Is that a just tonight thing?
It happened Monday too.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's just tonight, then we could turn off the Discord screen share or something like that if we thought that was the problem. But if it happened Monday too, it's something different.
Yeah, it happened Monday as well. And
all right, well these guys here, they're passing the pace car not because they're lucky dogs, but because the wreck happened just around where pit exit is. And as oh, big hit in the wall there. He must have some wheel damage. He was trying to go back there. If you go a few cars back, there he is. Who is that up there? Is that? Can't see the car number on
Alex
the side,
Giffen.
and I don't Alex Giffen, man. I wonder if it's just some right front wheel damage there going through the turn, and all of a sudden the car can't turn anymore. But he is rolling. Now, I don't know what the trick is to do here because these B cars, the damage model's so finicky at times. I would probably be pinning it against the wall here and pulling a Ross Chastain and letting the wall make my car turn for me. As you can see, he is riding that third lane, so if it does break on him, he doesn't have as far to go. But he's got to get all the way around the pack. I mean, technically it'll say pit lane open right now, but it's kind of open for the leaders, not open for him. It's not really a big deal if he pits. He'll just get an end of the longest line sort of penalty, but Yeah, he's got to catch all the way up. He doesn't want to lose a lap. He doesn't want to go down pit road right now, and then the leaders just instantly lap him, because that's your leader right there. Dave Hunt, Gabe Butler, Jimmy Reynolds, Zach Workman, Anthony English are top 5. And yeah, they've thought to themselves, man, we've driven about a third of a lap under green. That we need some fuel.
These cars are thirsty,
man. Familiar
man.
face going on in the background there?
Do what?
Let me see. Is that the familiar face that I saw earlier? Just go around the outside there in the background. No, he's coming down pit road now. Okay. Is he got all of his? Is Doug Johnson back on a lead lap? He is 1 lap down. Okay, so he wasn't the lucky dog there. We have a few cars a lap down now. Everett Lane, Andrew Schroeder, Dana Shepard, Jerry Bergeron, Doug Johnson. They're going to be all battling, it looks like, for this lucky dog. Well, Everett Lane's not. He's getting the lucky dog right now. So Doug Johnson just entered pit road. Andrew Schroeder's on pit road. Dana Shepard's on pit road. Jerry Bergeron's on pit road. It's going to be a 4-car shuffle battling for this lucky dog here. So very interesting to see how that shakes out.
So the 14 of Vicente Guerrero stayed out. Everyone else did come down pit road.
Preventing the wave around. Same thing he did before, right? Like he wanted to stay out just in case he was further up the field, so he couldn't wait on it. He had to actually decide now, and he did, to stay out. And that may be why the 388 decided to dump down pit road too there, because he had the option to pit again the second time around, but not the 14. The 14's committed to blocking the wave arounds for his own playoff benefit. Let's fire that bracket back up again, KR. We got 2 more sections we got to talk about. We'll start with the top right up there with some big time names. One of them absent this week, so
okay,
that'll be
I'm ready to
win.
make my pick who advances to the next round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who you got this time?
Derek Donna advances to the next round.
Well, that's fine. We were talking about who you got to pick the bunch of the 4. Who's going to win this quarter? Who's going to end up in that green box there of these 8 guys? So Butler Levy, Monday legends, of probably 200 to 300 Monday starts between them. Kevin's not here, Kevin Freeze. Derek Donna will advance to the next round to have to deal with one of those 2 behemoths. Then you got Nate Warren and Andy Brigante, another few hundred Monday starts probably there combined, and then Dana Shepard and Chris Jordan. I believe those guys are teammates, if I'm not mistaken. I think they do. They run similar schemes for DEP Racing. I think that's kind of funny that they got paired together. I think they're also pals with Derek Donna, actually. So kind of interesting that they all ended up in the same quarter here with 2 of them in the same draw. Who do you like out of this bunch?
It's really hard to go against the dominant force that is the 88 of Gabe Butler. I mean,
no, man.
he just finds a way each and every week to either finish in the top 10 or win the race.
Is he the best OP driver ever to win a championship?
I believe so. I mean, if you want to put it that way,
depends
yeah.
on. I know they don't have a whole lot of races of overlap, so it's hard to really compare them one or the other there. But to me, it's the 88 or the 28 there at Conley, right? Like those guys have absolutely legendary resumes in OP, and unbelievable that they never found themselves on the top step of the standings at the end of the season. But you know, maybe that's the sign. Maybe this is the first thing Gabe Butler gets to crack through at and dominate everyone. But yeah, that name does stand out a good bit. But if it's not him, if he gets turned on the line, if he has the typical Butler Guinness luck here, any of these guys could seemingly win it. They're all in that same, you know, very competent, can pounce at any moment when the situation arises. So I think the 88's probably the favorite, but I don't know what the favorite, like the math even works at, like on a favorite. Like if they're all 12.5%, if it were completely fair, then what's Butler's odds? Like 20% instead, 30%? It's not like it's going to be like 70%. There's just too much stuff that can happen at a super speedway.
Yeah, way too much can happen. But for me, looking at that, if Butler survives this round, I think he advances to the green box.
Yeah, we'll see. Nate Warren, if they're obviously putting together nothing but consistent finishes, as we see every night he does things, even if he's not always getting the trophies. We get the green flag. Some of those aforementioned names you can see already at the front there. Vicente Guerrero leading the bottom with Gabe Butler up top. And a couple other veterans up there we haven't talked about too much tonight. Zach Workman now, second car on the outside. Those guys used to be teammates together at Meteor Racing. 7 or 8 seasons ago on Mondays, and now you can see Mark Van, Dave Hunt. I'm wondering what happened here. Did those guys, is Vicente the only one who didn't pit?
Correct.
Okay, so that leads me to believe that your Vendetta guys who were leading earlier, and Dave Hunt as well, took 2 tires, took 4 tires, took something, and that these guys, the 88 and 19, they took 0. Because for them to leapfrog those guys, but still pit, they definitely had to do something to put them in the lead there. So Butler, as soon as he got clear of that 14, maybe even a little bit slightly early, he yanks it to the left and gets to the bottom as fast as he can. They know that this pit stop coming up here can basically make or break the finish of the race and where your track position is. We'll probably be looking for pit stops here, I'd say around lap 53, 54, depending how aggressive you want to cut it. If you're somebody back there right now, let's say you were either involved in the last wreck or the one before, and you're sitting about 20th right now, and the guy you're battling is up here in the top 10, how do you plan on attacking that instead? What would be your plan, KR? Would you be trying to short pit as aggressive as humanly possible, maybe not have enough fuel for a green-white checkered, but aggressively short pit so much you steal a bunch of track position? Or are you instead going to be like, you know what, I think they're just going to wreck up there. I'm just going to hang out at the back, and then maybe around lap 60, 65, I'm just going to go to that third lane that no one seems to want to touch yet?
Man, I'll tell you, no matter what, I think if I'm behind my fellow bracket tier person, individual thingy, I would be doing the opposite of whatever they're doing, because I clearly can't beat them on their schedules, so now I have to do it in creative means. So yeah, if I see them going down pit road before I commit to pit road, then I'm going to try and stay out and maybe get a lucky break somehow by staying out, though that very rarely happens. It's just one of those things where you're not beating them by doing the same thing, so you got to switch it up.
But I also think that there's merit to, I want to make sure that I can always see my opponent, that we're not on completely different pit strategies where someone's half a lap behind or ahead and we have no idea where we're going to shake out. It's, hey, that guy, let me try and get as much track position as I can here. I'm going to pit the same lap he does, and then the last few green flag laps of the race, he's going to be in front of me in my windshield. I'm going to have a target that I could chase, and that's worth something. And maybe that goes to your personal opinion of your own abilities versus your opponent's abilities. If you think that they're, you know, if you think that you're better than they are, then you want to make sure that you limit the variance. Or if you're, somebody going against a Hall of Famer and you're in your 5th OP start, maybe you're thinking, I got to do something so wacky and off the wall. Maybe I got to catch a right caution here to jump ahead of some of these guys. Because it's very, I don't know, it just seems like it's dependent. Like, there's a lot of guys here who have reputations of the way that they can drive and what they're capable of doing and what they're not necessarily going to do, because they may be thinking big picture. And if you're a guy like a Casey Gilchrist or a Les Levy who doesn't have as many starts at Wednesdays, might not be running for the championship, but can win any race when they want to. They can be right up at the front and be in the mix. They're not super concerned if they finish 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. They're not worried about banking a bunch of points. All they're probably trying to do is advance. And I think that they are, that's a little bit more of a wild card.
Yeah, super speedways in themselves are a wild card, right? So how do you 100%. How do you factor in all the risks just to try and do something? We can say all these things. In the end, that white flag comes out, half the field gets wiped out, and you just hope you're not in that half the field.
I know, we're going to be talking about this bracket like crazy for the next 3 weeks, but how interesting is it going to be where we feel like things are shaking out with 2 to go? Big one happens entering turn 1 on the white flag lap. And we just have no idea where anyone's finishing.
Bracket
Everyone's
busting
scattered out over the track, limping around with 3 wheels. Like, that realistically, that's probably how this is going to end up.
Bracket busting cautions.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know if you saw that move there while we were talking. Speaking of wild cards, Robert DeFont, not in the bracket. Missed a race early on this season. Didn't get far enough up in the points there. He is not running for the bracket challenge, but he is an OP regular and probably running for points. And as you can see, making a lot of noise. He made a move in the third lane in front of Dwayne Corbett there on his own. No drafting help whatsoever. Now the 9 cut up some slack and checked up a little bit. The 126 doesn't seem satisfied being 4th in line. He is already glued to the back of the 53, pushing him ahead. As there's already some carnage here. The 47 getting set down the apron. The 14 running a little bit low. I wonder if he's got a pit this time by or if he's running low on fuel.
The 14
still
went
green
down
here
there
as
early.
The 14 enters on the apron and he gets drifted up there. Really sketchy re-entry there, but they keep it all going. It's still green. We are still green here.
Yeah, that was a wild backstretch run.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, Vicente
Richard
looked
Kuhn
like
did get it going just fine after getting set down. He got brought back up. He's running side by side with Les Levy. They are just about to enter turn 1, so you can see them side by side right there. He still has some cars behind him, but you can see the back half of this pack is quite scattered now. That wasn't a yellow because only one car got turned below the yellow, so I know that it looked like Vicente was below the yellow as well. It seems like he kind of got pushed down there and was driving there to be safe, but then didn't have a place to merge, finally kind of found one, but it's Daytona and it's the B car. These things don't turn so great. You can't really just drive it on the apron like you would at Talladega. We got a new leader here in the 19. 53's back up front as well. How about this 81? We saw this guy spinning around all over the place. 2nd or 3rd caution. Here he is with Gilchrist as well in tow on the outside, making some new leaders. He's thinking about the 3rd lane, just cooling it off. Okay. It's like, I don't know if that's this is the time to do that. 22 laps to go, though. We are probably within 5 laps of some of these short pitters. Now, what if you're one of these guys back here with Richard Kuhn, Les Levy, Ron Walters, Justin Coy, etc.? It's like a little second pack here. They're coming off a 2 in your screen right now. There's like 8 cars back here. They're about 5 or 6 seconds off the lead. You gotta run the dry instead of short pitting it now, right, KR? Because if you short pit now and you only come down with 2 or 3 friends, now you're looking at going a lap down this late in the race. You might never get it back. I don't think it's safe to do that as they come up here on Andy Brigante as well. They've got a lot of momentum, so they're going to clear him relatively easy on the outside. But I think because of that incident, these guys' beds are made now. They kind of have to stay out as long as they possibly can, right?
You got to get on the same page with everyone in this group. If everyone wants to short pit here with 18 laps to go, then that's the call you got to make. You got to go with the group that you're at.
I just don't know if you
just
could
hope it
feasibly
goes
short
through.
pit now and not get swallowed up by the leaders because of the new OP rules. If you're getting lapped, you no longer can just hold the yellow and say, "Yep, too bad, go around me." Now you're forced to either go on the apron, which is a death sentence here at Daytona, or go to the wall and let the pack go underneath you. And then you're not going to be able to get these 7 guys to, like, you know what, let's short pit and agree to all go a lap down. There's no chance they would agree to that. So I think these guys are now going to just have to hope for another caution, and they're going to have to race their way forward because I think they're far enough off the pack that the short pit has been taken off the menu. They are no longer, they have that option has been removed for them here. So as they take another pass there on Rothery, if you have your opponent in this bunch now too, I wonder what you do. Do you short pit and let them have the position for a little while and just hope the caution doesn't come out? Or you just try to cover them off? Because these guys are racing. What is happening here? Leslie, you're getting torn. What did you say? They didn't get on the same page for short pitting? They can't even get on the same page to drive in a straight line.
Well, we do have some coming down pit road.
There it is. As the Vendetta guy's coming. Oh, Sanchez coming. Really? There's a yellow right as they hit the pit entrance. Did they make it in time before pit entry closed? If so, that's the Mark Main horseshoe I'm talking about. And there is the 62 who is... He's been hitting a lot of stuff the past few laps here, and it's unfortunate to see it go around, but it looks like it's rolling just fine. Maybe some flat tires, but doesn't look like the damage is too bad on that guy. Oh my goodness, these guys were just kind of all over the place. What happened here? Well, it looks like the 21 there just in front of him there, it checked up or low on fuel. I don't know, they were already kind of turning by the time we got there.
Yeah, we're going to take this one. It looks like the 13 of Brigante got into 70 or the 21. And the 21
the
just turned
748. Sorry, not the 20. I know it looks like a 21 on your guys' screen, but if you squint enough, it's a 748. I promise you. That's what the standings tower says. Anyhow, yeah, it looks like the 21 and the 62 just coming together just a little bit there. I don't know, man. It's just it's just a bad bump. It's just kind of trying to do a truck bump here in the B car. There was a lot of speed delta there, and then 13 just got in the right rear a little bit, sent him down. Hey, interesting paint scheme in that 21. You want to see something real quick? Check this out. Let you get over there to him real quick, because he's in I want to talk about him a little bit too, because he's in our last quarter of the bracket here. I don't know if I can see it from the blimp though. It's a little far. Can we get that 21 a little better shot? Maybe a little TV2, TV1 action here. I don't know what the cameras are called for turn 3. I'm not a professional like you. The roof number on that car, check it out. This car is built for the Daytona road course. See how the 21 is right here like this? It's facing the 21 just like us, but then when we enter the turns, the 21 is facing us on the outside, not the inside. That is the Watkins Glen or Daytona road course special, so that is a very particular choice in livery there by Nicholas Wing. Not even a 21, it's a 748. What am I kidding? All right, here they go down pit road. That takes a lot of the drama out of that. When will they pit? That question, because we got the answer for us right here. Dave Hunt leading these guys down pit road. We only had 4 or 5 guys who went down earlier, so even if these guys nail their pit stops and the other guys do stay out, they're not going to be starting worse than like 5th or 6th. So it's not like they're punished by not short pitting. It doesn't look like they got end of longest line penalties here. As you can see here, they are lined up right behind the pace car. This is the horseshoe I was referring to with the 0-4, by the way, but you could tell they knew they were short pitting. They're not driving down on the apron for fun. They're doing that to save some fuel. It's the shortest way around the track. Shut off the motor. Go about 58, 59 miles an hour. The pace car is going 65, 70 miles an hour. Requires the least amount of engine power and gasoline to travel this way. All right, we firing up the last quarter here.
Let's look at the last quarter.
All right, so heavy hitters up top there. Fritch and Lane, both Monday guys. Fritch obviously devising this bracket plan for Wednesday nights. Third in the bracket seating. Yeah, we'll have to check to make sure there's no conflicts of interest or any kind of corruption going on. Crosby Sr. and McCara, those guys are longtime teammates. They've run Wednesdays and Saturdays together for quite a while. They were Monday teammates for many seasons, so that is a fun little battle between those guys. I have hung out with both of them in person at the same time before, and I think you did as well this past month, right?
September, yeah, Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, you got to hang out with those guys in Kansas, right? So they're a fun bunch. Crosby Senior's my teammate on Mondays as well, so rooting for him there. Sorry, Sean. And then down below that, we got the battle of the guys' names of 4 letters that are so tiny in this little bracket here. Nick Wing, who we just saw and talked about there in the 21 scheme, and Richard Kuhn, who another Monday teammate of mine. Man, that guy puts together some strong runs. He has had so many good Monday finishes the past few weeks, even dating back to the end of last season there. And we're just waiting for his win, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. But man, what a tough matchup he's got right here, because Nick Wing, well, he doesn't run Monday nights, runs with an incredible squad on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and is got quite the strategy. He's got a lot of guys in the group that are right ahead of him that are going to be working real hard to try and move that 21 car in the next round, so that'll be a tough match. And then obviously, the matchup we've been talking about the most tonight, the 14 and the 388, those guys have been taking the strangest strategies, looking out for one another. Doug Johnson is 2 laps down still. Vicente Guerrero has been at the top of the standings, the bottom of the standings, starting from the pits, restarting on the pole without enough fuel, pushed down to the apron to full speed. He has had the most eventful race, and now he runs a complete middle of the pack 20th. So, who do you like in this quarter, KR?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I like Zach Fritch. He finds ways to rise to challenges, but Sean McCara's my quiet dark horse.
McCara made his first Final Four last season on Wednesdays. It was a really cool accomplishment. I was really pulling for him to get the win there, but wasn't in the cards. Really cool to see him bounce back and still racing on Wednesdays here. It would be an absolute great story to see him win the quarter, this quarter of the bracket. However, My pick, none of these guys. I like Vicente Guerrero down there. I think Vicente Guerrero has a secret weapon that no one is really talking about yet. On Monday nights, he drives with an incredibly strong team. Of them, none of them are in this bracket. One of them has shown up tonight, but I imagine that if he progresses through this bracket, you're slowly going to start to see maybe Kenny Reel, maybe Josh Ball, maybe Steven Luttrell, maybe Adam Schramm, obviously Zach Workman here tonight, to all help for the cause. So I think the 14's got the best shot at moving into the quarters, and we'll see how wrong we are in about 15 minutes time as they're about to take the green flag here. The Vendetta 3 are back at the front yet again, but we got some new faces there, as like I said before, Dave Hunt, Zach Workman, Dustin Logston right there as well. Len McNeese making a big move to the outside there. These guys have enough fuel to make it to the end. If we go green from now until the end of the race and get a last caution there, maybe with 1 to go and go to a green-white thing, I don't know if these guys have enough then once we start stretching in the green-white territory. So these guys in the lead are going to be burning more fuel than these guys at the back, but we will see how it plays out. It should be relatively good on fuel, but they may pass it around here just in case. As you can see, they've already moved the 3 Vendetta guys to the bottom. They don't really want to lead the outside anymore. They have yielded that to Dave Hunt and Dustin Logston. I'm wondering if that fuel thing might be a concern. They just want to make sure they've got their green whites covered before they start making moves all over the place. So they are using a little less fuel there on the bottom than the guys up top, as the 81 and 53. Those guys were working together quite a bit Monday night at Atlanta and the trucks as well, but here they are in the B car. Dave Hunt making some moves. Wonderful scheme on that car too. Not the usual Dave Hunt colors we're used to seeing.
No, it's not his usual colors, but I have to ask him what brought the change.
Oh, when he wins tonight? Okay, calling it now.
Yeah.
Called shot. Not even in the bracket.
Not even in the bracket.
We shall see. I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting him this summer. What a cool guy. Fellow educator himself. Now his field is way more cooler than mine. Mine is middle school algebra and such. His is teaching people how to fly planes. Hence the Embry-Riddle sponsorship for seasons after season. So just makes a noteworthy difference. Although there is another Dave Hunt scheme, if you remember it. Do you remember the other Dave Hunt scheme that he runs once in a while?
I would recognize it as soon as I saw it, but I can't pull it off the top of my head.
It's a black and green Alienware scheme.
Yeah,
like
that's
right.
right.
Like an aqua blue one.
Yep.
Yeah. And we used to always joke around that when Dave would run that scheme, it was like the Mr. Hyde version of Dave Hunt. Like that was when he was throwing crazy blocks and making crazy moves. We just had Alienware Dave Hunt, which is a completely different personality. And it always seemed to come out at like iRacing Super Speedway, where you'd want to be 4 wide and stuff like that. It was always cool to see. So him making a paint scheme change, especially here during we got a few of those too, especially as it's Veterans Day week here. We've got Dustin Logston in the camouflage scheme for his grandfather behind him. Kind of cool to see the different paint colors on them for this week, leading off the bracket challenge. We're going to have nothing but B cars through the whole thing as well. The rest of the schedule, we'll be at Dega next week. Interesting people making some moves to the back. The 88 in the 3rd lane going backwards. He's deciding to go to the back of this pack. Probably realized it is a parking lot up there, 3 or 4 lanes deep.
He's off the lead pace.
Yeah, he is just chilling back there. He knows he's racing the 62. That's all he's worried about. How do I make sure that I have a car that can last till the end of this thing and not die?
But
and he's decided.
He's even almost half a lap down to the 62 now.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Are you talking about the 88?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if it's just damage from before or what's going on there.
Yeah, he's not in good shape.
He is, let's see here. He is 2 laps down, so I guess he did have to tow for that last one. The 62 is 1 lap down, so yeah, if Gabe can't get a yellow here and get one of these laps back somehow, he is probably in danger of losing that first round matchup as the 2 seed. Right, of course, after we gave him the wonderful blessing that we thought he would come out of that bracket.
Well, I said if he survives.
Yeah, here we are.
I did say if he
survives. Is a lap down off the pack, so the pack isn't that far behind the 62 here in a moment. They are going to have to lap this guy.
Yeah,
While the 88's attached to the pack, how is the 62 going to blend in front of him?
He's not. There's
Yeah,
too much energy.
Look at the yellow that bails out the 62 in a moment here. These guys are all over the place. See, the 14's into the wall after getting into the 81. The 71 takes a big hit as well. Still no yellow here. There it comes out. Lots of carnage. The 62's getting bailed out. The 82's or the 88's got to be punched his steering wheel right now. He goes so close to getting that position back. That's the only guy he's keeping an eye on tonight. What a big hit, though, out of 2 for some of those guys. See how it's going to start up here. We're going to see that those guys hit the 81. I think this wreck started like 30 seconds before this. Man, they were crazy when we were just looking at it. We flipped over, and that was like they were not really in the right lines and stuff like that. I wonder if they were all kind of reacting to something else at first, and then when they all tried to find their spots again, there really wasn't anywhere to go, or a spot didn't exist. They thought it did. It looks like on the front stretch, just before turn 1, there's a little bad bump with the 19 and the 04 door each other. Then the 44 catches him in the wrong spot, then causes the 126 to go into apron. It just automatically just what's it called? Like dominoes. Like it just keeps going all the way down there. So you saw the incident right there at the very front of the field. Everyone can kind of see parts of that fender bender happening in front of them, and they all kind of react to it slightly differently. Although I don't remember those guys blinking their cars when it happened. But yeah, rewind it just a tad more than this. Or no, this is out of full. This is right. Yeah, go right to front stretch, if you're able to. If the replayer will behave. It's already too late here. Okay, there was a point in time where the 44 and the 19 get together. At the same time, the 04 hits him, and it sends the 126 down to the apron. They all kind of come back and look all fine, but all these other guys, all their momentum is going laterally instead of forward because they were all getting ready to bail and get out of danger there. So we're going to see this part of the accident where it looks like it was just where the final contact happened, but really it was getting settled well before that, as there was just nowhere for the guys to go. They were already in panic mode.
He's clearing the track of mosquitoes right now.
Who's doing that? Makara?
Yeah.
What a guy.
So thoughtful.
That makes one of us. All right. Vicente getting damage fixed on pit road makes sense. Shane Posey, Chris Jordan on pit road makes sense. Gabe Butler not able to get the lucky dog, not able to get a wave around, but he wants to make sure he doesn't go too far behind the pack. We'll see how much damage the 62 is able to get fixed here, because it's going to be really tough now for Butler to get that spot. There's not going to be enough laps left in the race here for him to necessarily hope that Les falls off the pack and then gets lapped by the pack, unless Les has a whole lot of damage, which he's going to have 2 minutes less damage by the time this restarts. So we shall see. Workman leading the race is not in the bracket, not because of any poor finishes, not able to qualify for it. But he does know he's going to be absent next week, and didn't want that to goof things up, where in case he advanced here and then had no show next week, that it would mess things up. So he's actually pretty high in the points, but not participating just because he knows he will not be able to make 100% of the races. But he got in front of the Vendetta guys. He got them separated a little bit. You got the 04 and 44 there, just behind them, but they're not going to be starting nose to tail. They're going to be starting next to each other unless the 19 elects to take the outside. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to stay on the bottom, keep the 44 right behind him. That was the guy who was pushing him before as well. We shall see how this shakes out.
Well, this one's getting down. We got 8, gonna be 7 laps to go this time by. Peter, we've talked a lot about the bracket, but let's talk about this race. You got to take it one race at a time, and when we go back green, we'll have 6 laps to go. Mark Mann's sitting pretty, but so is Anthony English.
I think those guys, look, they're good. They're favored. They're Hall of Famers. They're expected to do well. They're also worried about points. They're also worried about the bracket. There's going to be some concerns. They're just going to be kind of looking in their mirrors, checking their relative. Mann's going to be looking at where Sanchez is. who's not that far behind. All right, Sanchez is running 14th right now. English is going to be keeping an eye on Ron Walters, who, you know, is 21st right now. But if that third lane opens up, you know, it is what it is. The guys are on a sole lead lap, so they can't get in a wreck here at the end, as they know if they do, they're giving up that bracket spot right away. That other guy's going to get ahead of them. The guys with nothing to lose are the guys I think are going to have the best chance of winning the race. Like Zach Workman does not care. He will throw a ridiculous block if he has to. He doesn't care about the points. He's not really caring about the bracket. He's here to get the trophy, hopefully. Robert DuPont in the 126, another one to keep an eye on. He's restarting here, second up top, right there in 4th place. So if the opportunity presents itself, maybe he moves further ahead and tries to take the lead. Goes on the outside. Casey Gilchrist added in this bracket about an hour and a half before green flag. Got added in the 32nd slot. Is paired against Dustin Logston, who's a few spots behind him. So I don't know. I think there's going to be some guys who make some crazy moves here that don't necessarily have the points to worry about. They're not like, let me just get a top 5 or a top 10. They're just like, let me get the trophy. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's those, he has his opponent up here. Not everyone else has too many opponents up here. I think they're the only pairing that has the both drivers in the top 10. Oh no, Zach Fritsch and is that Everett Lane who's up there? That's 11th and 13th. Okay, so yeah, Gilchrist and Logston, the only pair of opponents with that are both in the top 10 here. So we'll see if that amps up the aggression here as we are restarting here with 7 laps to go. Workman getting to the Geico restart zone and goes immediately, it looks like here. It gets about a little car length lead there over the 04. Obviously wants to hold on to the bottom. These guys have no more pit stops to make, but 44 is pushing. I don't know how brave I'd be with the 40. I guess the 44 pushing me feels a lot better than pushing the 44 after seeing 2 shotgun net codes earlier tonight. But I had to be careful while I was the 85. We'll be going 3 here soon enough, I bet, especially with that 5 car back there. He knows he's got to catch Mark Mann in the 04. Bottom looks to have all the momentum, but you can see about 8 or 9 rows back, the third lane starting to peak. Oh, jumped out real early there is Dwayne Corbett. Is he going to get help with him? Logston seems to be funneling underneath, as does Sanchez. Are they going to wait till they clear the 9 and jump in front of him, or are they going to follow here? Let's see. There's a lot of wiggling there off of 4. Oh, and Logston gets turned by Sanchez into Fritsch down into the tri-oval apron. Still green. iRacing cautions only this league, and then a big hit there from Justin Coy, and he gets turned. Now they're down in the apron. iRacing yellow comes out this time. A lot of positions changing. A lot of guys blinking on the track. Fritsch taking a huge hit there. You see him stopped on the apron. Justin Coy down there as well. We'll have to get a replay and see how the rest of that unfolded, because we saw part of it start in turn 4, but it finished just before turn 1. Oh, you can see Fritsch was so concerned about not getting the pit penalty. The yellow hadn't come out yet. He couldn't get an unsafe pit exit. He was trying to make sure he didn't hit that cone, and just came up and hit the 86 there at the same time. Hated for both those guys. Been running flawless races up until this point, really. Been taking care of their cars, and their cars are still okay, but now they're going to be restarting close to a green-white, way back from where they were. Let's watch that again. It looked like Dustin was kind of peeking up at the same time Richard was looking down a little bit, turned him a little bit there, sent him right into the 12. The 12 tries to blend in, goes right over the yellow. The 86 had no idea the 12 was coming. He didn't even know he had to leave the room. Just a tough spot. One of those things, and you know, if you were a real life driver, your spotter would be telling you he's doing a rejoin, but like the iRacing spotter is just coded to say 2 wide, 3 wide. You know, there's nothing going on there. There's no way to see that out of the windshield, and there's no way for the spotter to say anything to the 86 as well to let him know that the 12 is going to be there. So just, those guys are both running middle of the pack there, keeping an eye on their opponent, and yeah, they got to charge forward here. Here we go, KR. You think we're done with these yellows yet?
It's always hard to say.
Yeah. Be a bit of a mess. What will not be a bit of a mess is this Saturday, starting at 2 a.m., the ExtraLife 24-hour marathon stream raising money for Johns Hopkins Children's Center and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. I will be starting at 2 a.m. with some board games, playing some Go, ancient Japanese and Chinese board game there, and then it'll be led into 2 legendary retro games. KR, have you ever played Metroid before?
I have.
See, I haven't, which is kind of embarrassing. Like, it's like probably the most popular game that I've never played before, which is really strange. It's like my wife's favorite game series.
Interesting.
We had a dog for 12 years who passed away in April. Her name was Samus. I never played Metroid. I was well aware who Samus was, obviously, a legendary video game character, obviously in Smash Bros. And stuff like that, too. So yeah, I still had exposure to it, but I just never really dabbled in those kind of games. We then adopted another dog in May, named after the villain from that game series, Ridley. Not the main villain, not Mother Brain. That'd be a really weird name for a dog. But Ridley is the name of this corgi that we have. And yeah, it felt like this is just kind of a thing that is a big blind spot in my retro gaming life. So I need that's one thing that I happen to stream a whole lot of is speedruns of retro games. So I felt like let's see if we can beat Metroid and then Super Metroid back to back. So we're doing that starting around 6 a.m. That'll be after several hours of what nobody's watching at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning there. And then yeah, we'll have our iRacing League races later that night, and then ending up the night with some competitive League Mahjong matches. So yeah, different things this year. Not on the dance pad, not on the pinball machines. I think people were getting tired of the same old. So I wanted to pick a goal and actually not a monetary goal, like an actual gaming goal. And I felt like the Metroid ones were absolutely the perfect ones, especially given the new dog to the family this year. So yeah, tune in if you want to see that, or don't. I don't care. It's fine. But feel free to donate money to Sick Kids, and I will thank you on stream regardless, and send you a thank you card. And I appreciate all the guys you see out here on the track. I think nearly all of them have donated at some point in time in the past for a paint scheme that I've made, or something that I've been able to help them with logo-wise, or helping them out iRacing-wise, or them just being absolutely generous, wonderful human beings. And I've had the chance to interact with almost all the guys on the track tonight, and I wouldn't be doing this without their support. So the opportunity to be able to talk about it on here tonight, and you being able to let me talk about it a bit, KR, but also Zach letting me sponsor the bracket challenge itself. And it's been a huge ride for 5 years. Every year I think, man, is this the last time? And last year we broke $10,000. It's a huge accomplishment cumulatively there to get the award mailed to me from ExtraLife, and it would be completely impossible without all the iRacing support I've had over the years. So I thank them immensely for that. It's been a super cool thing to be able to raise money for, but also at the same time, just you really get the sense of community of how much these guys care. Like, we're just driving pretend race cars on the internet. I've only met about 7 or 8 of them. Well, okay, 19 or 20 of them, but it's still, they were donating long before the time that happened to meet them. So that's, I'll forever be grateful for their generosity and support.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peter, I enjoy watching your ExtraLife streams. I tend to lurk in them. Gives me something to do for 24 hours.
Yeah, something on the TV, right? Just put it on as a screensaver. It's fine.
It's fine. I do stop by and say hello and see how things are going. It's tough, isn't it? Those 24-hour streams.
It's weird. I mean, before the years past, when I've only had one child, or the dog was a dog and not a puppy, I feel way more rested and excited about it. Like right now, I'm like, man, I really hope I stay awake. I turned 40 earlier this year. Like this is I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I was happy to not have to worry about all the tech stuff of like moving the cameras around and working on 3 different like laptops all over my basement with the different arcade machines and whatnot there. I can just focus on my one spot at my desk and the racing rig. But I'm still nervous because I might just play terrible at these games and just die a million times, and maybe I won't beat Metroid, but I don't know. I'm gonna have a good time. It's for a great cause, and realistically, a bad day playing video games is still better than a good day doing housework. So let's see who has a bad day here amongst the front as we get our restart going with the same familiar faces we had in the last restart. Whew. Getting down to the wire here. We got a few laps to go. I want to know how many of them are just glued to the relative versus, looking at exactly what's going on in front of there. We got a yellow already, a lot of cars there off the onto the apron there in turn 1. Caution number 9 tonight. Told you it's going to get a little crazy here towards the end. That is going to gift the lucky dog to somebody. We'll see who ended up being in the right spot at the right time for that, because it's going to come down to either Doug Johnson or Gabe Butler. We can see, is that a money shift situation there? They were already bunched up.
Let's see.
Oh man,
here.
that's a. Let me zoom in that spot there. Coming to the restart there. They're all spread out, not really packed up together. You can see the 10 zooms up a little bit, then kind of wiggles. Oh, we got some contact ahead. That's what happened there between the 071 and that green car ahead of him. And then
15.
Back here, just these guys moved a little bit, but they were already a couple inches apart, and into the wall goes the 10. Taking a pretty big hit there. 10 and the 99 coming together. 99 not in the bracket. The 10 is in the bracket. Ron Walters battling Anthony English. He knew he had to make something happen. English is up there running in second place. But he didn't need that to happen. So hopefully he's able to get the damage fixed and hope for some crazy fireworks here on our restart. This is going to be green-white checkered number 2. It does make me a little bit nervous, KR, because we don't really have too many of these under caution, but it can happen.
How many do we need? I thought it was
What?
unlimited.
This is the last one. We're on green white number 2. If we get a turn, somebody does that on a restart again, it's over. Workman or English is going to be the winner, whoever happens to be ahead when it happens. So
I see.
You got to be careful. Like if you're, several spots behind the guy that you're battling, or maybe 1 or 2 spots behind the guy you're battling, like you got to think about it here. Like if you make a move that causes a stack up or something behind you, that causes the yellow to come out, the race is over. You didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like you got to be kind of calculated in this. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to race hard and push forward as best I can. Because if you cause the yellow, that auto ends the race. It's a very strange set of circumstances here, because normally you'd be like, all right, well, there'll be another yellow or another restart. I'll get another chance at it. Sort of the, nope, not now. As soon as it's over, it's over. So it's going to be interesting to see here, because a lot of these guys are not quite as far ahead as they were before. We're getting green, white number 2. How many positions can they realistically make up? Where are we going to see the fireworks? Where are the desperate guys going to be making some crazy moves because they're still trying to catch the guy in front of them? When you look at the guys' names who are at the top of the standings, you find their opponent. That's the person who needs to be desperate, right? Like Adam Kilday, 3rd place, just needs to chill out. Justin Coy, 26th place. That's who he's racing against. Is Justin Coy just going to try and keep all 4 wheels in the track and chill out, or is he going to try to charge forward and give himself a shot here? Like, of course he's going to go make a run forward, right? Casey Gilchrist running in 7th, just chilling up there. Dustin Logston, 25th. Is Dustin going to just keep it down there in the bottom and rely? No, he's got to make it move forward. So you're going to see an unbelievable amount of aggression from a half dozen to a dozen guys here who see their opponent way up in the distance, and it's like, oh, I got to make some noise and get up there. But what they can't have happen is a yellow can't come out. If the yellow comes out, it's literally over. Pull the plug on the whole deal. They're trapped where they are. So I do think, though, with the second green-white checker, we have kind of settled the score in a few of these matchups, because we know Gabe Butler's still 2 laps down while Les Levy's back on the lead lap. That one's pretty much over. Vicente Guerrero's in the lead lap. Doug Johnson's going to be restarting 1 lap down. He is getting the lucky dog here, but it would take something very strange to happen to have Vicente fall back that far. Harold Rotherty's 3 laps down, so he's not going to be in a position to pass Shane Posey, who's up there in 21st place in the lead lap. So you're going to see some of them that are a little bit more calm. But these guys here who are at the tail end of this lead lap, who have to charge forward, it's going to get aggressive. I don't even know if they're going to wait till turn 1 before they're 3 wide.
Yeah. I think
That's good.
Think you're
That's good what you think.
You're gonna have to really push the issue, but so far it's not been working too well here in the end of this stage, or end of this race, because of all the quick cautions that we've had.
Yeah, it's worked for some people, right? Like Nathan Warren was 15th, 16th a little bit ago. Now he's sitting here in 8th. He's in a much more comfortable spot in his battle with Andy Brigante, who's back in 17th now. Everett Lane just got gifted the spot, right? He got to see the incident that happened with Zach Fritsch. Fritsch is now in 23rd. He's 10 spots back from Everett Lane. So you're going to see like this third lane here, I think, is going to materialize really quickly. But there's a bunch of guys in there who are just kind of going to be chilling. Like, I don't know if Alex Giffen's going to be excited to go to the third lane all that soon. But there's, you know, Eric Laurie's battling Andrew Schroeder. Like, there are Andrew Schroeder right now. Where is he at in the standings? He is. See, where's, oh, Andrew Schroeder's disconnected. Okay, so Eric Laurie's safe, but he's taking a spot on the outside line, which is where you want to be, and so you can jump to the third quicker. I don't know. Derek Donna's in the outside line. He's already got a walkover because Kevin Freeze wasn't here. So I don't know if those guys that are in the middle are going to get out of the way for the guys in the bottom who are trying to jump up and make passes. But they might see some people trying to do some splits, some crazy stuff going on. Nick Wing and Richard Kuhn starting side by side there in that battle at the bottom right of the bracket. So here we go. We got the green. Can we keep it safe, or are we going to get a wreck here? It's going to be real close to see how these things finish up. Justin Coy already in the third, up against the wall there. He's got some people peeking out in front of him. It's going to give him a little side draft as well. Is he going to have some friends to advance forward with? As you see, a big move to the bottom by the 47. Jumps right down there. He's trying to make the move around the 21 for that last bracket spot. He's getting a little bit ahead of him here with that draft he's getting. If there's a yellow, though, it's all over. They're already 3 wide here. They know what's at stake. Some of these guys jumping out real early to try and catch the guys in front of them, while the 85 and 19 are just pushing each other, working ahead. Look at the 16 on the outside with the 5. The 5 has to catch the 04. If he can push the 16 all the way to the lead, then he knows he'll be clear of Mark Mann. There we go. We got some damage here and push to the bottom. Are we going to get a yellow? Are we going to stay green in time? White flag is out. Even with the yellow now, it does not matter. They're racing back to the line. The 5 has caught the 04. Sanchez has caught Mann. How are they going to shake it out here? You can see there's the 21 and the 47 still side by side. Oh, meanwhile, we're 3 wide for third place.
Oh my goodness, as they make their way off of turn number 2
There's
down the backstretch.
He tried to block Kilday. Kilday's caught in between the lanes. They're slowing up everybody. Those leaders are all over the place. McNeese goes down to the apron. They're now going to be 4 wide entering 3 as he comes up in the Gilchrist. There's not enough room. Here's the carnage. Who's going to survive to get to the line? 47's driving in the grass. Can he catch the 21? There's more carnage up at the exit of 4. They're all over the place. It's Workman's race, but who cares? Look at this bracket. Sanchez is going to bring it home in second place. What a huge get for that. Big time hit on the 44 coming to the line. Nate Warren gets hit as well coming to the line. These guys are still crossing the finish line with a bunch of nonsense. Every single position matters. Zach Workman with the win. Rick Sanchez second. Derek Donna without a bracket opponent. He's going to get an interview for third place. Well done on his part. Wow, what an unbelievable finish. The standings got turned upside down. Logston from 21st to 7th on that last lap. Just a huge change. Unbelievable finish there, KR. It's still finished. I mean, it's not even over yet. There's still guys coming across the line back here in like 22nd, 23rd. Fighting for these last spots.
Hey, you got to get everything you can.
100%.
All right, I think I have an idea.
The race is now official. The race is now official because Zach Workman drove it all the way back around, or Rick Sanchez drove it all the way back around, clipped the start-finish line. So anyone who hadn't finished yet got marked a lap down. Results are done. We're going to know exactly who's moving on. Look at this. This doesn't look anything like we saw a second ago. It's like he put up the wrong graphic. Where are these? Zach Workman's still in front, but where did these other guys come from? Oh man, Zach Workman first, Rick Sanchez second, Derek Donna is your podium spots. McNeese, Corbett, Hunt, Logston, Shepard, Mann, and Reynolds, your top 10. Unbelievable. Coy, Fritsch, Walters, Warren, Wing, Laurie, Levy, and Jordan. Down to 18th, Kilday and Guerrero round out your top 20. Meanwhile, Everett Lane, Andy Brigante, Jeff Crosby Sr., Shane Posey, and Anthony English, your last car on the lead lap, 1 minute and 14 behind the leaders. The rest of the drivers here that you see did not finish the last lap. Casey Gilchrist was in the top 10 catching the white, did not finish the last lap, scored 1 lap down. Robert DuPont scored a lap down. Alex Giffen, Richard Kuhn, they're all scored a lap down. They entered that last lap on the lead lap. Weren't able to finish the race there. Doug Johnson struggled all night after that first incident, falling a few laps down. He fell 1 lap short of getting back on the lead lap. Butler, Rotherty, Bergeron, McCara, and Schroeder round out your field. What an incredible finish. We were worried it was going to end under yellow. Instead, it got to green, and then we had the most insane set of events there that just completely shook things up.
All right, you ready to talk to our winner?
No, not really. We'll make it quick with him.
All right, we'll do it quick. I'll let you do it then.
Zach. All right, and we got the winner of tonight's race. Thanks for coming up here. Anyone else you want to thank?
Oh, yeah. I was like, well,
Nah, man, what a run. I know you had nothing to lose being not part of the bracket. You got a prior commitment coming up a little bit later, so of course you came out and spoiled all the fun for everybody and won the darn thing, man. Tell us about it.
yeah, I was just, it's kind of gets track positioning, this kind of track. You know, it's hard to stay up front, especially cycling temps and everything. But yeah, I don't know what happened, like 10 or 12 laps. I was like 5th or 7th on the bottom. And they kind of just were moving up, checking up, moving up, checking up, and I just kind of got my way through because I knew those kind of vendetta guys, if they were leading the pack, it would be tough to beat. So I'm glad I got in front of them, and then Adam was pushing me the way I was making, just covering the bases, you know, blocking each every lane, and I don't know what happened behind me. There's a big wreck, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'll take the win.
Pretty much every single matchup in the bracket that was decided that was one way on the white flag switched to the other way on the checkered. It was an unbelievable set of events, and we're going to have to really shake it out later. That didn't affect you at all. How much of that was affecting your teammates? You were in a chat with a bunch of guys tonight who were all part of the bracket challenge. Were they constantly looking at their relative, trying to figure out where their opponent was? Was there a lot of talk about that, or was it, who cares? It's just like race 4. We'll just drive like we normally drive.
From lap 1, Peter. So we were
talking about even more than us, KR, and we wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, we were also we were looking at, so Gabe disconnected because he had some internet issue, and we knew him and Les were racing, and Les was a lap down and Gabe was 2 laps down, so we were eyes peeled to that. We really wanted the broadcast camera just to watch that battle.
We were watching that for a little bit. The other one we were watching was Doug Johnson and Vicente, because Doug had the incident early while Vicente started from the pits. Vicente kept doing the funny fuel stuff and staying out to block wave arounds because he's trying to keep Doug Johnson trapped and not be able to get back on the lead lap. So that was a very interesting dynamic earlier on. But man, I just am curious because like the guys in the front, it's like these guys also kind of care about points. Maybe they're just totally content with the top 10, and then they see their opponent in the 3rd lane, and all of a sudden, oh crap, I'm driving like it's a Final 4 race. And it just seemed like the aggression was like stopped and started and stopped and started so many times that it was like you guys were at 3 wide at weird spots, and I don't know, it was a very cool dynamic, but it was really hard to keep track of. Maybe it'll be easier with 16 guys next week.
Yeah, it was very weird. It's like, I mean, we're very competitive. Like this entire league is very competitive, and you give them an inch and they'll take it a mile with how the competitiveness is in this league. But I mean, it's a good thing. Like we have hard racing. We're always fighting for every point and, you know, stage points and stuff like that. I mean, ultimately that doesn't matter for the bracket, but it still matters for your overall points, which, you know, that matters later in the season. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like a lot of guys were trying to fight for that, and then but they're also battling like, oh, like I need stage points because I'm right on the cut of actual points and stuff like that. So
it's such a cool thing. I'm really glad Rich put it together, and I'm glad that you came in here and crashed the party anyway with nothing to lose, not had to sweat about a single thing. All you were doing was just worried about not what car was behind you, but just if a car was behind you. So great job, man. Any last remarks here before we kick you out and talk to someone cooler?
Oh, yeah. I got to shout out the FSR boys and Nerditude for letting me race with them. You know, Mondays I don't race with those guys, but Wednesdays they let me in their party, so that's cool. Got to thank you, Pete, and KR for watching this go in circles. You know, sometimes it probably is boring, and you could be doing other stuff like family time, but I appreciate you watching us.
Which race are you missing, by the way? Is it next week?
I am missing next week. Unfortunately, store's getting ready for Black Friday craze, so I have to spend.
What's the big deals at Micro Center? Plug them real quick. Be a company man. What do we got to be looking out for?
To get computers.
Oh, okay. I know there was a cool TK SimLab rig that you can get right now, 40% off, something. I don't know, but yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't tell us that kind of stuff. But yeah, just gotta thank my parents also for watching, supporting Diamond for watching Kiddo, so that she doesn't unplug my shit. And yeah, that's it.
That is Zach Workman, driver of the number 19 Instacart Toyota Tundra. Zach, thank you so much. Congratulations.
It's not a Toyota Tundra. It's a Ford
Mustang.
It's
a Toyota Camry. You're driving a Ford? Sorry.
Yeah.
We can't say that word on this broadcast according to KR.
Well,
Turn 3 does not allow us to say that.
Well, it won tonight, so you better be looking at it.
Well, he's
I don't
been calling
see
him
it.
Mustang since we joined this league, so whatever. All right, man. Good job.
All right, see you guys.
That is Zach Workman of the number 19 Instacart, brand redacted, model redacted. And we talk here to the second place finisher. The guy I called was going to come out of that bracket if he could dodge the horseshoe that is Mark Mann. And what would you know it? That last lap got the job done. Rick Sanchez, tell us about that, man. I know it was not the top step of the podium, but it's pretty darn good.
Dude, it's almost like close your eyes and hope for the best there at the end. I was talking to him. I said it come down to what kind of bump you got there at the end, if it made you squirrely or if you went straight, you know. And it's just one of those crazy ones. And I expected to get taken out because there up the top's not the place to be. It's usually like third or fourth on the bottom, you know, to clear the mess. And next thing I know, I'm in second place. So I don't know where it came from. I told Mark, sorry, but
he's got enough trophies. If he had won this thing, he wouldn't even know what to do with it. So whatever.
Right.
When you guys got paired up and you saw that in the bracket, did you think that was more unfair for you or more unfair for him?
I thought my night was over. It was early. You know, I was early exit. That's what I thought, you know. But first, though, they showed the bracket. I was with Gabe, and I was like, my night's done, or, you know, moving on to the next round. And then it turns out to be Mark, and I'm like, hell, I didn't get no better.
No. You know? I mean, to be fair to those guys, they're probably like, oh, I'm fourth or I'm second in points. I'm going to get somebody easy. And then they find out they're drawing Rick Sanchez. It's probably, they felt the same way. They were like, why didn't I get the pushover? How did I get this guy? Let's just get a 29 seed.
How did Rick get down there? You know, it's like,
yeah.
Well, I missed 2 races and you know, people falling out or having to leave.
Yeah, well,
ended up where I'm at. And
right. Well, you showed them real quick that, yeah, you deserve to advance that run tonight. Any shout outs and thank yous there for let you get on with your night?
Just shout out to you guys up here in the booth and turn 3 and OP putting this on, and shout out to the fam out there.
Hey, they're always loud in the YouTube chat. We always appreciate them coming out too, man. Thanks so much. Rick Sanchez, driver of the number 5 Chevyland Chevrolet. Great job tonight, man, and see you next week. All right, you can do the third one here, KR. I'll stop talking finally.
All right, well, we'll talk to our third place finisher, and that is none other than Derek Donna. Derek, congratulations on a solid third place finish here tonight.
Ooh, I appreciate it. I needed it after the last 2 weeks. Have been pretty rough, so pretty great to be up here in the podium.
Man, I'll tell you, let me start over. Tell me a little bit about your race, because as I was watching you, it seemed like you just quietly kept working your way forward.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go there for a while. I stayed out of most of the wrecks as far as having a lot of damage, but there was some that I needed to repair and put me towards the rear. You know, I just stayed in it, avoided what I could, and you know, luck has it, it put me back up in the front, so.
Well, solid run for you, man. Nice job. I believe this is your first podium finish on Wednesday night.
I had a couple last season.
Did you?
The first 2 races last season I was third, but third's the best I can do so far. Hoping the next, in the near future I can move up a couple spots.
Well, man, sooner or later, you keep finishing in the podium, you're going to get a win. So I believe in you.
Yeah, there's definitely some tough competition out there.
Speaking of tough competition, Derek, did you check out the bracket today, and were you keeping an eye on that at all?
I was.
So you were at the biggest exhale ever during the starting lineup, huh?
I did. I checked it right in the grid, and I said, oh, I don't see his name out here. We're good.
Oh,
but I also had a little bit of a letdown. I looked down a little further, and both my teammates, Dana Shepard and Chris Jordan, were against each other. So
well, yeah, I said the same thing, but you know what that does mean is that another DEP guy gets to move into the second round. You were guaranteed that. So
right, yeah,
you
we're
got
guaranteed
two guys
to.
there, and hopefully you guys can both win your next match and have some bragging rights there at 08, the third week now. But you got your work cut out for you next week, man. Les Levy's got probably 500 OP starts across all of his seasons there, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep your head on a swivel there, because sometimes he's at the front, sometimes at the back, but he knows his way around this place here. How do you think that the racing was tonight? I know you weren't particularly concerned about an individual opponent, but did you notice anything in your traveling around there that you thought drivers were driving either more aggressive or more passively at certain spots than usual, or doing different things?
Really, I wasn't paying attention. I'm not out here for the bracket. I'm out here for the racing. So I raced my race, kept my head on straight, and did what I could to better my own position. So I heard over some comms between us here in DP and in the regular comms that stuff was going on, but nothing affected how I was driving.
Good deal, man. Well, congratulations again on the podium finish. You'll find yourself on those higher steps eventually with runs like that. Any shout outs or thank yous before we let you get on your way?
I gotta always shout out to Dan over DP for my Bad Wrench paint scheme here and all my teammates. Workman was a great finish there with the win, and as soon as I saw Sanchez run to that outside, I knew I needed to be behind him. So congrats to him with the second place as well.
That is Derek Donna in the number 215 Bad Wrench Chevrolet. Derek, great job tonight, man. Congrats.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, KR, I'm going to talk slow because you've only been here for 76 laps and 9 cautions, so I know you have plenty of time to no, I'm just kidding. What were your thoughts on this first ever Extra Life Bracket Challenge racing event we ever had? Did it live up to its name? Was it an absolute mess? These guys need their fast repairs to use their Extra Life, if it will?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the next few races as this bracket challenge plays out. It's definitely exciting watching different strategies throughout the race, as these guys have just one person to worry about overall and still try and figure out how to win the race.
Yeah, and Fritz is already actively working on updating the bracket. You can see next week Logston versus Posey. That's going to be a tough one. Justin Coy sneaks out of like 22nd place to steal the match against Adam Kilday. Ron Walters sneaks out from like 20th place to take the spot away from Anthony English. It looked like it was going to be Kilday versus English round 2 the entire first 75 laps of this race, but lap 76 now it's going to be Coy versus Walters for a spot in the quarterfinals. Sanchez versus Laurie, Jimmy Reynolds versus Len McNeese, Les Levy versus Derek Donna, Nate Warren versus Dana Shepard, Zach Fritz versus Jeff Crosby Sr., the Indianapolis connection, and Nicholas Wing against Vicente Guerrero. What an incredible event. I'm so glad I got to take part of it with you here. Next week's going to be even more insane, because now you're going to have 16 drivers added to the field who don't care about the playoff anymore. They've already been eliminated. They're going to be driving like their hair's on fire. Everybody else is going to be doing the bracket thing or worried about stage points. It's going to be an even different mix. So can't wait to see it.
I'm with you. I can't wait to see it, but that's going to be next week. So, Peter, why don't you sign us off?
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching tonight. And if you want to watch some more nonsense, don't forget to tune in to Twitch on Saturday morning. As you guys can see on twitch.tv/MixMasterPJ. Man, what a great race here, guys. Thank you to all you guys for tuning in, the OP drivers for turning out, the admins for putting this on. And we'll see you guys in 7 days. Thanks so much for watching.